Bible verses about witchcraft. Regard not them that have familiar spirits, neither seek after wizards, to be defiled by them. I am the Lord, your God. Leviticus chapter 19, verse 31. For rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry. Because thou hast rejected the word of the Lord, he hath also rejected thee from being king. 1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 23. And the soul that turneth after such as have familiar spirits, and after wizards, to go a whoring after them, I will even set my face against that soul, and will cut him off from among his people. Leviticus chapter 20, verse 6. Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery, fornication, uncleanness, lasciviousness, idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, variance, emulations, wrath, strife, seditions, heresies, envyings, murders, drunkenness, revellings, and such like, of the which I tell you before, as I have also told you in time past, that they which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of God. Galatians chapter 5, verses 19 to 21. And he caused his children to pass through the fire in the valley of the son of Hinnom. Also he observed times, and used enchantments, and used witchcraft, and dealt with a familiar spirit, and with wizards. He wrought much evil in the sight of the Lord, to provoke him to anger. 2 Chronicles chapter 33, verse 6. For without are dogs, and sorcerers, and whoremongers, and murderers, and idolaters, and whosoever loveth and maketh a lie. Revelation chapter 22, verse 15. And when they shall say unto you, seek unto them that have familiar spirits, and unto wizards that peep, and that mutter, should not a people seek under their God, for the living to the dead? Isaiah chapter 8, verse 19. When thou art come into the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee, thou shalt not learn to do after the abominations of those nations. There shall not be found among you any one that maketh his son or his daughter to pass through the fire, or that useth divination, or an observer of times, or an enchanter, or a witch, or a charmer, or a consulter with familiar spirits, or a wizard, or a necromancer. For all that do these things are an abomination unto the Lord. And because of these abominations, the Lord thy God doth drive them out from before thee. Deuteronomy chapter 18, verses 9 to 12. Many of them also which used curious arts brought their books together and burned them before all men, and they counted the price of them, and found it 50,000 pieces of silver. Acts chapter 19, verse 19. There shall not be found among you any one that maketh his son or his daughter to pass through the fire, or that useth divination, or an observer of times, or an enchanter, or a witch. Deuteronomy chapter 18, verse 10. And I will cut off witchcrafts out of thine hand, and thou shalt have no more soothsayers. Micah chapter 5, verse 12. So Saul died for his transgression, which he committed against the Lord, even against the word of the Lord, which he kept not, and also for asking counsel of one that had a familiar spirit, to inquire of it, and inquired not of the Lord. Therefore he slew him, and turned the kingdom unto David, the son of Jesse. 1 Chronicles chapter 10, verses 13 to 14. And the light of a candle shall shine no more at all in thee, and the voice of the bridegroom and of the bride shall be heard no more at all in thee. For thy merchants were the great men of the earth, for by thy sorceries were all nations deceived. Revelation chapter 18, Verse 23. And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof. And they shall seek to the idols, and to the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards. Isaiah chapter 19, verse 3. And it came to pass, when Joram saw Jehu, that he said, Is it peace, Jehu? And he answered, What peace? So long as the whoredoms of thy mother, Jezebel, and her witchcrafts are so many? 2 Kings chapter 9, verse 22. Therefore thou hast forsaken thy people, the house of Jacob, because they be replenished from the east, and are soothsayers like the Philistines, and they please themselves in the children of strangers. Isaiah chapter 2, verse 6. And it came to pass, as we went to prayer, a certain damsel, possessed with a spirit of divination, met us, which brought her masters much gain by soothsaying. Acts chapter 16, verse 16. But there was a certain man, called Simon, which before time in the same city used sorcery, and bewitched the people of Samaria, giving out that himself was some great one. Acts chapter 8, verse 9. Ye are of God, little children, and have overcome them, because greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. 1 John chapter 4, verse 4. And the magicians did so with their enchantments, and brought up frogs upon the land of Egypt. Exodus chapter 8, verse 7. Neither repented they of their murders, nor of their sorceries, nor of their fornication, nor of their thefts. Revelation chapter 9, verse 21. Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 9. And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. 2 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 14. And have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather reprove them. Ephesians chapter 5, verse 11.